Chapter 1: The Mysterious Gift. In the heart of Asanteman, there was a village named Beposo, known for its vibrant community and lush farmlands. The villagers were hardworking and lived in harmony, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the land. Among them was a farmer named Kwame, who lived with his wife Okojua and their 3 children. Kwame was known for his generosity and kindness, always willing to help his neighbors. One day, while Kwame was working in his field, he noticed an old man sitting under a tree, looking weary and hungry. Feeling a surge of compassion, Kwame approached the man and offered him food and water. The old man gratefully accepted, and after eating, he looked at Kwame with a strange glint in his eyes. "You have shown me great kindness," the old man said. "In return, I will give you a gift." The old man reached into his bag and pulled out a small bottle filled with a shimmering, golden liquid. "This is a magical oil," he explained. "Use it sparingly, for it has the power to bring great prosperity. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely." Kwame, intrigued and grateful, accepted the bottle. He thanked the old man, who then stood up and disappeared into the forest. Kwame returned home, eager to share the news with Okojua. That evening, as the family gathered around the dinner table, Kwame recounted his encounter with the old man and showed them the bottle of magical oil. Okojua looked at the bottle with a mixture of wonder and caution. "We must be careful with this gift," she said. "It could bring us great fortune, but we must not let it change who we are." Chapter 2: The Rise of Prosperity. The next day, Kwame decided to test the magical oil. He applied a small amount to his crops, hoping to see some improvement. To his amazement, the plants grew taller and healthier overnight. The news of Kwame's thriving crops spread quickly through Beposo, and soon, people were coming to him for advice and help. Kwame shared the oil with his neighbors, ensuring that everyone benefited from its magic. As the weeks passed, Kwame's farm flourished beyond his wildest dreams. His yields were bountiful, and he was able to sell his produce at the market for a handsome profit. With the newfound wealth, Kwame and Okojua improved their home, bought new clothes for their children, and even donated to the village to help build a new school. However, as their prosperity grew, so did the whispers and gossip among the villagers. Some people began to envy Kwame's success, while others became suspicious of the magical oil. Despite the murmurs, Kwame and Okojua remained humble and continued to live modestly, always mindful of the old man's warning. Chapter 3: The Dark Turn. One evening, as Kwame was returning home from the market, he was confronted by a group of villagers led by Yo, a man known for his jealousy and greed. "Kwame," Yo sneered, "we all know about your magical oil. You must share it with us or face the consequences." Kwame, taken aback by their aggression, tried to reason with them. "I have shared the oil with those in need. It is not meant to be used carelessly. Please understand that it comes with a price." But Yo and his followers were not interested in explanations. They demanded the bottle, and in the struggle that ensued, it slipped from Kwame's grasp and shattered on the ground. The magical oil seeped into the earth, its power dissipating into the soil. The villagers, realizing what they had done, began to panic. They accused Kwame of withholding the oil's true potential and blamed him for their misfortune. Yo, seizing the moment, incited the crowd against Kwame, and they turned on him in anger. Chapter 4: The Curse Unleashed. That night, as Kwame lay bruised and battered in his home, he felt a deep sense of sorrow. He had only wanted to help his community, but now they had turned against him. Okojua tended to his wounds, her heart heavy with worry. "We must find a way to make things right," she said, her voice trembling. As they sat in silence, the strange fog enveloped their home. The temperature dropped, and an eerie chill filled the air. Suddenly, the old man appeared before them, his face stern and eyes filled with disappointment. "I warned you about the oil's power," he said. But now, because of the greed and envy of others, the curse has been unleashed. Your family will suffer until the debt is paid. Kwame and Akojua listened in horror as the old man explained that the curse would bring misfortune and hardship to their family. To break the curse, they would have to make a great sacrifice and seek the help of the ancient spirits who guarded the forest. The old man vanished as quickly as he had appeared, leaving Kwame and Akojua in despair. They knew they had to act quickly to save their family from the curse's wrath. Chapter 5: Seeking Guidance. The next morning, Kwame gathered his family and explained the situation. Their children, Kofi, Ama, and Adwoa, listened intently as Kwame recounted everything from the magical oil to the old man's warning. The children were shocked and scared, but they also understood the gravity of the situation. Kofi, the eldest and bravest of the children, spoke up. "Father, we cannot let this curse destroy our family. We must find another way. Perhaps we can seek help from the village elders or a wise healer." Kwame nodded, grateful for his son's courage and wisdom. "You are right, my son. We must seek help. We cannot face this alone." The next day, Kwame and his family went to the village elders, hoping to find a solution. The elders listened to their story with grave expressions, understanding the seriousness of the situation. One of the elders, a wise and kind woman named Nana Afia, spoke. "Kwame, the power of the magical oil is strong, but it comes with a price. There may be a way to break the curse, but it will not be easy. You must find the source of the oil's magic and confront it directly." Kwame felt a glimmer of hope. "Where can we find the source?" he asked eagerly. Nana Afia pointed to the forest. "Deep within the forest lies a hidden shrine guarded by ancient spirits. You must go there and seek their guidance. But be warned, the journey will be perilous, and you must be prepared for the challenges that lie ahead." Kwame knew he had no choice. He had to embark on this journey to save his family. With the support of Akojua and their children, he prepared for the difficult task ahead. They gathered supplies, and the village elders provided them with protective charms and blessings. As Kwame set out for the forest, he felt a mix of fear and determination. He knew the journey would be dangerous, but he also knew that his family's future depended on his success. With each step, he reminded himself of the love and strength that bound them together, and he vowed to do whatever it took to break the curse and protect his family. Chapter 6: The Perilous Journey. Kwame ventured deep into the forest, guided by the wisdom of the village elders and the hope that he could find the source of the magical oil's power. The forest was dense and mysterious, with towering trees that seemed to whisper secrets and shadows that danced in the moonlight. Kwame walked cautiously, his senses heightened as he navigated the unfamiliar terrain. The deeper he went, the more the forest seemed to come alive with unseen forces. Strange noises echoed through the trees, and the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy. Kwame felt a shiver run down his spine but pressed on, determined to find the hidden shrine. After hours of walking, Kwame came to a clearing. In the center stood a large, ancient tree, its gnarled branches stretching toward the sky. At the base of the tree was a small, ornate door, barely visible among the roots. Kwame approached the door and knelt before it, feeling a surge of anticipation and fear. He took a deep breath and knocked 3 times, as the village elders had instructed. The door creaked open, revealing a dark passageway. Kwame hesitated for a moment but then stepped inside, his heart pounding in his chest. The passage was narrow and winding, lit only by the faint glow of luminescent moss on the walls. As Kwame moved deeper into the passage, he felt a strange sensation, as if the air itself was alive with magic. He could hear faint whispers, and the hairs on the back of his neck stood on end. Despite his fear, he pressed on, knowing that his family's future depended on his success. Finally, the passage opened into a large, cavernous chamber. In the center of the chamber stood an ancient altar, adorned with intricate carvings and glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Around the altar were statues of spirits, their eyes seeming to follow Kwame as he approached. Kwame knelt before the altar and closed his eyes, silently praying for guidance. He could feel the presence of the ancient spirits, their energy filling the chamber. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind, calm and powerful. Kwame, you have come seeking to break the curse of the magical oil. We have watched your journey and seen your struggles. To free yourself and your family, you must pass a series of trials. Only then will you prove yourself worthy of our help. Chapter 7: The Trials of the Spirits. Kwame felt a mix of fear and determination as he listened to the voice of the ancient spirits. He knew that the trials would be difficult, but he was willing to do whatever it took to save his family. He stood up and faced the altar, ready to accept the challenge. I am ready, he said firmly. Tell me what I must do. The voice of the spirits continued. There are 3 trials you must face. The first trial is the trial of courage. You must confront your deepest fear and overcome it. The second trial is the trial of wisdom. You must solve a riddle that tests your understanding and insight. The third trial is the trial of sacrifice. You must be willing to give up something precious to prove your commitment and selflessness. Kwame took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenges ahead. I accept the trials. I will do whatever it takes to break the curse and protect my family. The spirits acknowledged Kwame's resolve, and the chamber began to shift and change. The air grew heavy with magic, and the ground beneath Kwame's feet trembled. Suddenly, the chamber transformed into a vast, dark forest, filled with shadows and eerie sounds. Kwame knew that he was about to face the first trial, the trial of courage. As Kwame walked through the forest, he felt a growing sense of dread. The trees seemed to close in around him, and the darkness was suffocating. He could hear whispers and faint cries echoing in the distance. His heart raced, but he forced himself to keep moving, determined to confront his fear. Finally, Kwame reached a clearing. In the center stood a large, menacing figure, shrouded in darkness. The figure radiated an aura of fear, and Kwame felt his knees weaken. He knew that this was his deepest fear, manifested before him. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, facing the figure head-on. With each step, Kwame felt the fear intensify, but he refused to back down. He focused on his love for his family and the strength of their bond. As he approached the figure, he raised his voice and shouted, I am not afraid of you. I will overcome this fear for the sake of my family. Suddenly, the figure dissipated into a cloud of smoke, and the darkness lifted. Kwame felt a surge of relief and triumph. He had passed the trial of courage. The voice of the spirits echoed in his mind once more. You have shown great courage, Kwame. Now, you must face the trial of wisdom. Chapter 8: The Trial of Wisdom. The forest around Kwame transformed once again, this time into a tranquil garden filled with vibrant flowers and sparkling streams. In the center of the garden stood a wise old man, dressed in traditional Asante robes. Kwame approached the man, knowing that this was the guardian of the trial of wisdom. The old man smiled warmly and gestured for Kwame to sit beside him. Welcome, Kwame, he said. To pass this trial, you must solve a riddle that tests your understanding and insight. Listen carefully and think deeply. Kwame nodded, ready to hear the riddle. The old man began, his voice gentle yet firm. I am not alive, but I can grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I do not have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Kwame pondered the riddle, repeating it in his mind and analyzing each clue. He thought about the elements mentioned: growth, air, and water. After a few moments, he had an epiphany. The answer is fire, he said confidently. Fire grows, it needs air to burn, and water extinguishes it. The old man smiled and nodded. You are correct, Kwame. You have shown great wisdom in solving the riddle. Now, you must face the final trial, the trial of sacrifice. The garden transformed once more, and Kwame found himself standing before a serene lake, its surface reflecting the sky above. In the center of the lake was a small island, and on the island stood a pedestal with a glowing orb. Kwame knew that this orb represented the power to break the curse. The voice of the spirit spoke again. To prove your commitment and selflessness, you must be willing to sacrifice something precious. Place an item of great personal value on the pedestal, and the orb will grant you the power to break the curse. Kwame thought about what he could sacrifice. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, carved wooden figure that his father had given him before he passed away. It was a symbol of his family's heritage and a cherished memento. Kwame felt a pang of sadness but knew that this sacrifice was necessary to save his family. With a heavy heart, Kwame waded through the lake and placed the wooden figure on the pedestal. The orb began to glow brighter, and the voice of the spirits echoed in his mind once more. You have shown great courage, wisdom, and selflessness, Kwame. The curse is broken. Return to your family, and may your life be filled with happiness and prosperity. Chapter 9, The Return Home. Kwame felt a surge of relief and joy as he left the chamber and made his way back through the forest. The journey had been long and arduous, but he had succeeded in breaking the curse. As he approached Beposo, he was greeted by the sight of his family waiting anxiously for his return. Akojoa ran to him, tears of joy streaming down her face. Kwame, you're back. Did you break the curse? She asked, her voice filled with hope. Kwame nodded, a smile spreading across his face. Yes, my love. The curse is broken. We are free. His children cheered and embraced him, their faces alight with joy. Kwame felt a deep sense of gratitude for the love and support of his family. He knew that their bond had given him the strength to face the trials and overcome the challenges before him. As the days passed, Kwame's life returned to normal. He no longer used the magical oil, but he didn't need it. He had learned that true wealth came from the love of his family and the strength of their bond. Kwame's farm continued to thrive, and he worked hard to provide for his family. They lived a simple but happy life, filled with love and contentment. Kwame became a respected member of the village, known not for his wealth, but for his wisdom and courage. He often shared his story with others, teaching them the importance of family and the true meaning of wealth. The villagers admired him and looked to him for guidance and advice. One day, the village chief, Nana Kofi, visited Kwame's home. He looked at Kwame with a mixture of respect and curiosity. Kwame, I have heard of your journey and the trials you faced. You have shown great courage and wisdom. I am proud of you. Kwame smiled and replied, Thank you, Nana Kofi. I have learned that true wealth is not measured by material riches, but by the love and strength of one's family. Nana Kofi nodded thoughtfully. You are right, Kwame. I have also come to realize the importance of family and true happiness. Your story has inspired me to be a better leader and to value the things that truly matter. Chapter 10, A Legacy of Wisdom. Kwame's life was filled with joy and fulfillment. He had faced his fears, broken the curse, and learned the true meaning of wealth and happiness. His family continued to thrive, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. They lived a life of love, gratitude, and contentment, knowing that they had each other and that true wealth lay in the strength of their bond. And so, Kwame's story became a legend in Beposo, a tale of courage, wisdom, and the power of love. It was a reminder to all that true wealth was not found in material riches, but in the love and support of family. Kwame's legacy lived on, inspiring generations to come to value the things that truly mattered and to cherish the bonds of love and family.